Islam, Dwayne. Islam. How you doing today? That's good. I hope you're doing well. That's it. It's February 20. I think today is the 27th, 2021. It is Saturday, February 27th, 2021. It's a full moon. Anyway, today was an okay day. I wanted to clarify something. You know, in our Moorish 101s, it speaks about how it says what is black? Black means death. According to science, black means death. So when I was thinking about that in correlation to frequency, and also I learned through your teachings and other Moorish teachings how the Constitution of 1787, which is an organic instrument. When you look up what is the Constitution, it says organic instrument in Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. So if it's organic, that means you have to be considered to be alive. Because you have organic food, you have non-organic food. So when in our Moorish 101s it says black, according to science, means death. So I was correlating this to frequency because I remember how I would hear some more speak about when you reclaim your nationality and get back into the constitutional fold, that means you are naturalized. So you are not chattel property anymore, right? I learned you are demonstrating yourself as a citizen, a naturalized citizen. So once you take an oath or affirm, we as Moors, we affirm to uphold these divine laws of freedom, which is the Constitution of 1787, which includes the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. And we also, as Moorish Americans, affirm to uphold all 4 of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations. So the Constitution, if it's an organic instrument, and understanding frequency, and in order for you, it even speaks about in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4 of the Constitution, a uniform way of naturalization. It speaks of naturalization. So we learn as Moorish Americans, you have to claim a nationality in order to get back into the constitutional fold. So if you ask someone from Africa, the continent of Africa, what their nationality is, they'll tell you. They'll say, I'm Senegalese, I'm Kenyan, I am Nigerian, I am Moroccan. If you ask someone from China what their nationality is, they'll tell you. Japan, they'll tell you. Italy, they'll tell you. Different parts of Europe, they'll be able to tell you. But if you ask people on this landmass what their nationality is, and even parts of South America, you ask them, maybe they're from Peru, maybe they're from Honduras, Central America. If they are upholding these laws of nationality, they'll tell you. But if you ask someone on this landmass what their nationality is, when you have a masses of people, they'll look at you like you're crazy, or they'll say I'm white or I'm black. And we know that black and white, what foreigners do when they hear people over here who, especially foreigners who know law, who have been naturalized to uphold either their constitution or they come over here and they choose to be naturalized over here, and they hear people speak of, you say nationality, sometimes they don't even say, they try not to even speak of nationality, because they know there's masses of people on this landmass saying I'm black, I'm white, and they know that that's not a nationality, and they already know this landmass, I guess you want to say, compared to other places, have the highest amount of people walking around saying I'm black, I'm white, and that's not a nationality. So that lets them know if they know law, constitutional law, that they have been taking an oath or affirmed to uphold the Constitution of 1787. So if they haven't affirmed or been naturalized to uphold the Constitution of 1787, it's like, okay, why a foreigner might ask, why do we have to do it? Why, if the people that's been here longer than we have, who likes to say we Americans, okay, but they haven't gone through a naturalization process to uphold laws of freedom, why would a foreigner who comes overseas, why are they? Because they actually have been naturalized. And if they've been naturalized properly, that means they have been naturalized to include the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, which in section 19 it says all men are free. All men are free. So if I was a foreigner coming from a continent of Africa, coming from Japan, China, Italy, and I came over to a landmass like here, and I had to go through the steps of naturalization, and see so many masses of people here who quick to say I'm American, go home, foreigner, but they cannot tell you anything about nationality, or they would fight against promoting nationality, which is connected to upholding and affirming the constitutional laws of this land, which is connected to the Constitution. How I would have very little respect. It's like, what is up with this? You know, why should we respect laws of this land when you have people, masses of people who don't respect laws of this land? And they've been here they have generations that been here. They might not be from here originally, because those that considered pale skin or white, they were one of the first slaves that came over here. We learned this as Moorish American through history. The first slaves that came to this landmass were what they considered the pale skin or the white. And then other slaves were brought over here. So, but still they have generations and generations and generations that have been here. And Robert E. Lee, he has a certificate online where you can pull up where he actually went through the steps of naturalization after the Civil War. After the Civil War, he went through the steps, Robert E. Lee, of naturalization. That means he took an oath to uphold the constitutional laws of this land of 1787, the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, and I can't say it was all four of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, but if he went through the steps of naturalization, which he had to, it was the oath of amnesty and reconstruction, so he had to do that. He had to sign and take an oath with the oath of amnesty and reconstruction that Abraham Lincoln proclaimed, the proclamation. So I don't want to say ratified because it's not amendment, but he definitely proclaimed it. And Robert E. Lee went through the steps and was naturalized. So when I think of this as connected to the earth and the universe, okay, so if the earth is an organic, live planet, and so you're dealing with natural life, okay, the Constitution is an organic instrument. You're going through the steps of naturalization. Natural. You are not. That's saying that you are not unnatural. You are in the frequency of being natural. Naturalization. The Constitution is an organic instrument. You have organic and non-organic food. So when you're dealing with masses of people who are outside of the constitutional laws, or who say I'm black, and black is a color, and this is identifying a race or a mass group of people, how does that affect the frequency of the earth? Because we are tuned to the earth, we on the earth, and the earth is an organic instrument. So if black, according to science, according to our Moorish 101s, means death, and you have masses of people saying I'm black, Africa, when you hear African American, that may be your thought process go up a little bit, but still that is not a nationality. What is African American? What is it? That's not identified or recognized according to constitutional law. What is an African American? An Africa, American, that's two continents. So what is that? So in reference to nationality. So pale skin or the white, I remember we have documentations of when the pale skins who are descendants of the slaves that came from some of the first slaves that came over here on this landmass, start calling themselves white. It was in, I think it was in the year 1794. I have to go back and look at my paperwork, but I remember it was 1794. So when in our Moorish 101s, it says, what does white mean? White means purity. Purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. So when you think of the word white, automatically it connects to your consciousness of something pure. And then you think of the word black. According to Moorish science, Moorish 101s, black, according to science, means death. So when the pale skin that are the descendants of the slaves that were brought over here on this landmass chose to start using the word white instead of claiming a nationality, the term white does, if you continue to think of the word white and it connects to your subconsciousness as purity status, then you can see how you can look at someone who's white and think they have some form of purity before you even get to know them, and then you have all these external stimuli that makes you think this way in your consciousness. But if they chose to say I'm white without claiming a nationality, they are no different than the word. Then that's not a true term for them. They're pale skinned. They're no different from those that say I'm black or African American, because they supposed to have reclaimed a nationality or claim a nationality and be naturalized like Robert E. Lee did after the Civil War. That means that they have taken an oath to uphold constitutional laws of this land, which these constitutional laws are demonstration of freedom. 13th Amendment, 20 section, section 19 said all men are free. So you're not going to have citizens walking around saying 3, 33, Mason, we paid for you to be a Mason, because I've heard this at Annapolis in so many words, or using different forms of mental abuse to try to implement the number 33. You're not going to have that when you're dealing with a group of free, naturalized, and civilized citizens, natural beings. But when you're dealing with those who are outside of constitutional law, that means they are outside of that organic instrument. They are unnatural in thoughts and unnatural in state of mind. You're going to have this. You're going to have people saying, if they can, implementing. Well, if you don't want to consider yourself to be a Mason or a Freemason, or say 3, or in our group, or a werewolf. I feel Spanish speaking. That's why I question about the nationality. I hear a lot of Spanish speaking still, they say werewolf. They talk around the room, just like I give testimony about the accents, black African American accents, saying brother, baby, pale skin. Somebody keeps saying Burger King. She love your son. So these are all acts of an animal beast behavior and state of mind, because they are outside of an organic, naturalized instrument, a natural instrument. And that's keeping it 100. That's being truthful. Now, I don't know who these people are, but this is my connection to frequency. I cannot say everyone that consider themselves to be pale, white or African American is on a low frequency or an animal. No, because I deal with spirit, and when I'm speaking, I'm dealing with spirit. So you have, before I claim my nationality, I would have been considered African American. So you have people who have not claimed their nationality, and they still learning, and then when they learn, something clicks, and they reclaim their nationality. There are some pale skins like Robert E. Lee who didn't claim a nationality, or was who taken an oath. Who did not take an oath to be naturalized, but he did. So after he took that oath to be naturalized, uphold constitutional laws, this is in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4, then he was walking and demonstrating himself as an American citizen. Okay, he's not saying I'm an American citizen just to say it, because he actually went through the steps to uphold the organic instrument of this landmass. So how do you have masses of people on this landmass saying I'm American, but yet they have not been naturalized, and they say they don't have a nationality? How does that happen? And all around the earth, when you go to different continents, you have people and countries are able to tell you their nationality. And it's interesting to know, because you have people that are in the United States military, Navy, and Army, who's the commander-in-chief will be the president, who have not taken an oath and affirmed to uphold these constitutional laws of freedom. That means they have not been naturalized. So who is controlling them? So these are my thoughts today in reference to connecting to what I speak about black, and identifying a group of people is connected to harming the earth and the universe, because the earth is a natural organic spirit. It's a spirit. And so you outside of this, and you are, and the earth was made in laws of freedom, laws of a high frequency. So if you're outside of this, then you are definitely an attack on what is natural, what is just, what is lawful, Islam. So that is my connection. So the pale skin start claiming themselves to be white, the descendants of the slaves that were brought over here, and I think it was 1794. And so we are among many different types of experiments and so forth. So today was an okay day, and I don't think I have much time on this video. I had to go get a lock. I actually, at Burger King, I had my lock was, I put my lock, okay, I'm the only one that have a lock. Burger King has lockers now, and I'm the only one that have a lock, the only one. The reason why I got a lock is because one of the co-workers, I felt like sometimes my tablet was being bothered with, but I wasn't sure, because I would turn it off and I'd come back and be on. But one day I saw one of the co-workers, his name is Daryl, he was in my purse, going through my purse. And I said, Daryl, why are you in my purse? And he said, oh, I thought this was Jade's purse. I was looking for her cigarettes. I said, no, that's my purse. So anyway, I chose to go ahead, and then some other few incidents that was questionable about when I got my things out the locker. Burger King brought the lockers into the store maybe a month or 2 months after the COVID-19 rules started. So it was last year, maybe 2 to 3 months, and then all of a sudden, one day I came in, there were lockers. But for years, there were no lockers. So anyway, I chose to get a locker. So what I did was I put the key that unlocks the lock, I have a lock inside my purse, and then I locked the lock. So I had to tell Miss Phyllis I need to go and get something to get the lock. So I was able to get the lock open. I used my break time to do it. It was an emergency. And the reason why I have a lock, nobody else have a lock, once again, is because To me, I mean, after the first incident of seeing something, someone going through your purse, and then I started to see something that was odd, I said, let me get a lock, because I don't know no one there personally. I don't trust anybody there like that, and it would just be smart to do so. So therefore, I'm accountable of my things because I'm using my lock. So I did that, and I used my break time, because at first when I asked her, she said I could go, and I came back, and I asked, and it was Daryl. I had brought a boat cutter. I think that's what they call it, a boat cutter, with the two things. And I brought one from up the street from Burger King, came back, and Daryl was there. He was the only male. I said, Daryl, do you mind pushing this down so I can and breaking this open with this bolt cutter that I brought? He said he doesn't mind. Miss Phillips was a little upset at first, but then she let me, because I said, Miss Phillips, because when I asked him, he was going to do it, but then she said, that's not Burger King's problem. I said, yes, it is. I said, it's on Burger King's property. Because she already said I could clock out. I said, Miss Phillips, and after he gets done, she said, he got to do, after he gets through with this here or something, I think the hamburgers, he can do it. I said, thank you, Miss Phillips. And so I waited, and he, after he got through with the hamburgers, it only took him not even, I would say a minute. He just snapped it. I tucked the bolt cutters back, from him. I took him back up the street. It's a block away from Burger King, if that. Came back, and I said, Miss Phillips, I can get back on the clock now, if that's okay. And so I got on the clock, and I started working. But so this is I'm the only one that has a lock on the thing, on the locker that I see. I don't see anyone with a lock on my shift. So and I do it, and I did it for those reasons. And even when it happened, I told Miss Phillips. She said when she asked me what happened, she said, why? She said, why do you have a lock? I said, someone was going through my purse. That's the first thing I said. I caught someone going through my purse, and then I didn't tell her about the other situation. She like, nobody went through your purse. I said, yes. I mean, he said it was a mistake, but that, to me, I don't know anyone there personally. I just took it. I said, I'm going to be responsible and lock my stuff up. Then there's no question. I don't have to question about my stuff. My stuff is locked up. If anything happens to it, it's because of me, because I got it from the locker. I got my key. So I think that was the biggest big issue today. I haven't asked for. It was an extended break. I used the extended break, and I took care of that. And I came back to work, and I worked. She was still very irritable. If I'm around her trying to work, she would like move or say not really. It's not. She actually told me, called me Mo today. Under her breath, she said, "Oreo, make Oreo milkshake, Mo." It sounded like she said it, but I ignored it because I'm trying to keep my hours, and I didn't know for sure, but it definitely sounded like she said it, and she's still very irritated. And then James came in, and he was he acts irritated some days he's not. So I just sort of stuck to myself. But the reason why I brought up the 33 and 3 and because I was thinking about how I hear these things at American Extended Stay, and now that I think about it, I was like, because it's like almost like you hear people like they're trying to initiate someone. If they down the hall yelling 3 werewolf like an animal, and they're stalking, and you don't know what it is, but you know that you've heard them say military before. The military have access to different science of technology. You don't know what it is, yelling 3 werewolf. You don't know what kind of beast. What you don't know what it is. It makes you wonder. I remember Miss Phillips one time when I was standing next to her. She was like, "You scared?" I was like, "Scared of what?" I didn't understand why she was saying scared. I was like, it made me think about this because today. I was like, why is she asking me if I'm scared? I said, what? Why do I have to be scared of you, Miss Phillips? Scared of what? And she just kept saying, "Are you scared?" You know how when if you're being initiated in a group, if you're going through I'm not accusing her, but if you're going through a process of initiation or some form of connection with a group, and you might you see on TV, you might see some fearful, you see them being scared because they go into the next step of initiation. That's how it sounds like. So I didn't understand why Miss Phyllis said you're scared. She said this a few times through the years, and I was like, you would think I knew her personally. And and now she doesn't even want me to stand next to her. And to do fries. So I don't understand it. So and I don't understand the yelling down the hall at American Independence Day, or the voices carrying in the room saying, werewolf, Spanish speaking, predominantly black African American, a lot of times saying, I love you, brother. We pay literally like animals. So once again, this is in, so I'm just going to say I'm glad that I was able to get another lot. Somebody's still saying Burger King. I was able to get another lot. I don't know who they are, and I don't accuse Burger King. I don't know who they are. And I'm able to lock my stuff up at Burger King. And when I'm dealing with spirit, when you're dealing with spirit, okay, I recognize everything has a spirit. So you have unclean and clean spirits. So this is in connection to the word identifying a group of people as black. Okay, and Amorish 101, it states black means death, and you understand spirit has a frequency. In the Kabbalah, it speaks of telepathy. In the Kabbalah of Egypt, the Hermetic Egyptian Kabbalah book, initiates, it speaks of telepathy, and it speaks of the vibratory rate, and speaks of spirit. So when you are dealing with a body that has a spirit, and the spirit, and you can look at someone and say, oh, that person has hair like me, but the spirit is not the same. And that is what I deal with in reference to life in general. So the spirit, which comes from the thought process of the mind, not comes from it, but you can see it through the thought process and the behavior. Someone's spirit demonstrates their state of mind they're in. So you have clean and unclean spirits. So if someone is saying we paid, and the Constitution and it already states that all men are free, and they're walking around saying we paid Mason, Freemason. Like there's and early in the day when I'm walking back and forth to work, there's a Mason truck a lot of times driving around in circles on my path to work. It says Mason, and it's a yellow and red truck constantly driving around. So if someone is constantly saying we paid, brother paid, I paid, werewolf, 3, and we know as Moorish Americans as celestial beings, naturalized. We are working towards a high frequency. That word paid does not correlate to constitutional law, which is an organic instrument, which the organic instrument of the Constitution harmonizes with the spirit of Mother Earth and the universe. Do you know something is wrong? You're dealing with an unclean, unnatural, because it's not natural, naturalized spirit, Islam. Unclean, unnatural, and the true word is abomination. Now, not everyone that haven't been naturalized is unclean, because some people, I wasn't always naturalized, and so you have many that might just don't know. But I hope they learn. I hope they correct their status and realize how it helps harmonize with the spirit of Mother Earth and the universe. But the true word, another word to use, is an abomination, a freak abomination, Islam. So a lot of times I say, Allah, thank you for your protection from these unclean abomination spirits. And these unclean abomination and spirits also have filthy, unclean abomination kids that grow up and act just like them. A generation of filth.